We're loaded for Florida, where it's going to be warm. Stay tuned. Got loaded this morning. It was that was an adventure. It snowed a little bit last night up there, and my product that I was picking up happened to be sitting outside all night. So it stacked up 8 foot high, and I had to get up there to put my tarps on. I mean, they'll put my tarps up there, and then we pull into a building, and then there's ladders that we can climb up to get to the top. Well, you get to the top, and it's got an 1/8 inch of snow on top of plastic. It was like being on an ice lake. I was on all fours, basically holding on to the straps that I threw just to be able to get around to get my tarps down. So it was definitely an adventure. It's one of those that I'll think twice about loading there again in the winter, especially if it's a full 8 foot tarp. If it's a smoke tarp, it may not have been too bad, but I had to throw all 3 tarps, so I won't do that one again. I did get some questions, and like I said, if you guys post questions, I'm going to find the answers for you, or I'll answer whatever the question is. And somebody was asking me about where I like to fuel. I fuel almost everywhere. At Mercer, we use what's called EFS. Basically what that does is it allows us to take money from a load. And how it works is that as soon as we get dispatched a load, we can use $300 automatically to get fuel to get there. Then after we've picked up the load, they load on 50% of whatever the load is onto your cart. So that should be enough for you to be able to fuel and get anything you might, tolls or anything else that you might need in order to deliver the product. Normally what I do is only take about $300, and then I keep my card where it's always got money on it so that I can always get fuel. I don't prefer really any different trucks. I mean, we get great fuel discounts through Mercer. I don't pay what you see at the pump. I've saved at some places up to like 30 to 40 cents a gallon. It's phenomenal. So to me, what I do is I'll fuel usually if I know that there's a place that I'm going to be staying, such as I know where I'm going to stop is at a Pilot, and I need to have a shower. My showers are free as long as I buy 50 or 60 gallons worth of fuel. So that's kind of what I do, is I kind of move them around a little bit between Pilot, Flying J, which you can shower at either one of those places if you fuel. TAs, that's the main ones that I go. Loves every once in a while. I mean, I don't stay. What I don't like about Loves is that at Loves, they don't have any laundry facilities. So it's like if you're going to do a reset at a Loves, you can't get any of your laundry done. And that's when I like to do my laundries on a weekend when I'm doing a reset. I've stayed at it when I didn't need to do laundry, but and their fuel discounts there are just as good, everywhere else that I get. So with our program, we can run, and it'll tell us what the cheapest fuel is on the route that we're running, so we know where it is to buy our fuel. Also got asked about do I use any additives in my truck? I don't use anything whatsoever in my truck. I'm running half synthetic oil in my truck. That's about the only mod that you will see. I do oil changes every 50,000 miles, sometimes a little bit less, it just depends. But with Freightliner, no more than 50,000 miles to do the oil change. Every year I try to change out my shocks. I'm kind of overdue on that. Air dehydrator I change out every year. Sometimes I will do my belts. I'll look at them, and it's about a year and a half that I do all my belts. that's all that I do. For wintertime, I've got a bottle of what's called 911. If I need that, then I'll use it and put it in. And then there is some same company that makes a fuel additive if it's going to start dropping below 0. And I'll add those if I have to. I don't run really far up north, so I haven't really, I mean, I used maybe twice last year. That's it. Other than that, I usually don't have to use it a lot. So, trying to see if there's any other questions. No winter, stops, rewards. Yep. Kind of covered those. Everything that question, those questions that were asked. But today was definitely a fun day, or not so fun day, I should say. It was a little scary up there. You're 8 foot plus, 4? So you're about 12 feet up in the air. And you have a harness and stuff on, but like I said, that's the first time I've been up there where I basically had to get down on all fours. Some of the things that I do suggest, I seen it was I'm trying to think of who it was. They did a video on like Christmas gifts. I'm gonna see if I can find it here real quick. Let's see if I can see where. I'm trying to find the guy that does this. Driven Trucking is the one. He did a video here. It was about a week ago about Christmas gifts. And he did, he did, trucker stuff. I like headsets, and a little odds and end things. Oh, he talked about rain gear. I bought a set of rain gear and I hated it because they're plastic and they don't breathe. What I recommend is it's a rain coat, and it's actually a riding coat. And this thing has it's coated, and the thing is, I mean, it's really cool. Let me break it out and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what I have. This thing is called Outback, okay? And this thing is made, and what they do is they put an oil on it. And it basically, it doesn't really have a hood, but it has shoulders to it, but it breathes. So let me pull back, and it goes all the way down, basically below my knees. And this thing is the best thing that I've ever purchased for when it's raining out. You get this, and then you get a hat that's made out of the same material, and the rain and the snow and all that will just run right off of you. But that's one of my little things that I like to keep out here with me. So if you're wanting a gift from your wife and you're out here driving trucks, tell her to go out and get you an Outback, and you'll thank me for it later. So it's a raincoat, and it's what makes it nicer is because it breathes. I had like I said, the rubber suit, rain suit, and one time, I mean, you take it and you put it up over your clothes. But one time I'm out there working and bent over, and it like the inside of the leg just ripped wide open. I ended up just getting drenched. This is opened at the bottom. It's a regular raincoat, and like I said, what makes it nice is they treat it with an oil that makes the rain and everything just run right off. So when I get done wearing it, I can just take it and shake it and get the water off, and then take it and throw it over here, over on the passenger side, and let it finish draining off. I've got a little mat down there, and it'll finish draining off on that, and then fold it up and put it away. The thing has been great, like I said, and there's a hat that you can get that goes with it. If you Google the Outback brands, you'll be able to find that out there. It was a little expensive, but it's money. I mean, if you're going to spend the money, you might as well get something that's good and that's going to work for you. The other thing that I did is, if you looked at my older videos, like during the summer, you'd see that I'd throw on coveralls. That's just, to keep, a lot of places we pull in, we have to have long pants on and reflective gear. So I'd put on a pair of coveralls, and usually a bright green or bright orange shirt. They'll let that count as wearing a vest at a lot of the places. So what I did is I decided, I mean, I like them, but my wife really hates them. So I went and invested and got some Carhartts and got me like 3 pairs of those. They're like a darker brown, and I throw those over the top of whatever it is that I'm wearing so that they get dirty and my jeans don't get dirty. So I'm not going through as many pairs of jeans and not having to do as much laundry. So it's like I can take those, wash those separately. I got me like 2 pairs of those, and then I got me some insulated ones for this winter also, so that when it starts to get really cold out there, you can throw the insulated ones on and you don't freeze while you're out there trying to strap and chain a load. So anyway, I hope this kind of helps you out a little bit. Tried to answer some of the questions that were thrown out there. Like I said, I don't do a lot. You know, the biggest thing about the truck and keeping longevity in your truck is keeping it clean. And I don't mean just the outside of it clean or just the inside of the cab clean. You need to keep your motor, your engine clean. Your chassis has to really be clean. Normally what I do every time I go home, I will clean the chassis at home. I've got a power washer, and I'll go back and repaint my chassis. On these trucks, the only real metal that you have is the chassis. The hood, fenders, side skirts, that's all fiberglass. The top of the truck is fiberglass, but from about here down is aluminum. So it's not going to rust. So the only thing that's going to rust is your chassis. So taking care of it, it's going to make the truck last a lot longer. So, and I just, like I said, maintenance wise, it's just anything I find, if I take it into the shop and they find something wrong with it, I want it fixed regardless. Like I went in and my dog bones, one of them was bad. I told them to go ahead and replace them both. If one goes bad, the other one's not far behind it, so you might as well get it done. Same thing when it comes to brakes and drums. If you find a crack in one drum, you might as well go ahead and replace all your drums, because they're wearing all, they should all be wearing pretty even. So, but anyway, we are headed down to where it's going to be warm. So I tried to get some footage today. It just either rained or snowed, and the windshield was just dirty, so it was no good in getting any footage. And it's kind of a shame because went through West Virginia, I stopped here in Wytheville, Virginia is where I'm staying at tonight. I'll get up tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better and I can shoot some road footage. We'll be going through North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and then we're going to get into Florida basically on 95, cut over to 10, and there's little back roads that I can take that'll get me back over to 75. That was actually a shorter route by about 100 miles, 150 to 100 miles. It's a shorter route. So, and we'll get down there and get this off Thursday. Loads still aren't looking good, so we're going to see what's going to happen this weekend. I mean, and I've put it out like 400 miles, so it's like as soon as I deliver, if I have to drive all day to pick something up on Friday, I would do it. There's just no loads. I mean, everything's wanting to book out for Monday, so we'll have to see what happens. I could end up kind of screwing myself and sitting down there all weekend, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, we'll check back in with you tomorrow.